Charizard is a big fan favorite, and they are some of the most expensive cards you can pick up in any given set. But in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at 5 Charizards that aren't really that expensive, that are great pickups for your collection. So Charizards, big boy Charizard. We know it's like the chase card pretty much in every single set it's in, to some extent. Not so much actually in the Sword and Shield era. There are a few sets actually that have a few Charizards which aren't the most expensive card in the set, which is quite interesting. But we know the big top ones, don't we? We know the Art Charizard from Brilliant Stars. And of course, you go back even further and you take a look at Shining Fate. You take a look at Hidden Fate. We got some real big Charizards, right? Well, there are some Charizards which are actually big Charizards, but they're not massively expensive. We're not talking hundreds of dollars. We're talking about an affordable price. So today we will take a look at 5 great Charizards to pick up for your collection right now. Right, first off we have the Radiant Charizard from Pokemon Go. Now it's a while since we talked about Pokemon Go on this channel, mainly because it's not the greatest set. I will say it is not the greatest set to crack open. I opened up actually a fair amount of Pokemon Go and I managed to pull the Art Mewtwo and this Radiant Charizard quite a few times. It's not the most difficult Charizard to pull, but it is a nice Charizard. Okay, now Pokemon Go is still a cheap set to pick up, and this is still a cheap Charizard. Let's take a look at this. This is $10. We're not breaking the bank on this one, guys. We are not breaking the bank on this one. $10 is pretty decent. Over the last 3 months, it has been dropping from around $16.50 now to around $10. We go back 6 months, and it was actually around 30. So from 30 to 10 is a massive drop. We go back from when this card was released, we're looking at $40, now 10. So this is a card actually that has dropped a significant amount. Take a look over here on eBay for this Charizard. We had one recently sold here for $14.50. Then we have one here for around $13.50, and then so basically 15 with postage. £20 best offer accepted. One here for around £15. So you're looking probably around 15 is the average price for this Charizard. Now I've actually graded 2 myself. One came back a 9 and one came back a 10 in a PSA grade. It's not the most expensive valuable card in PSA graded prices, but it is still a cool card nonetheless. And I would highly suggest getting it graded. There's a few here that are in Japanese. We're looking at the English one today from Pokemon Go. £14 raw. Okay, so we're looking around, I would say, about £15. We've got an Ace 9. Overall, this is a pretty cheap Charizard to pick up for your collection. It's not the easiest card to pull, but it is still a goodie. Next, we have the Charizard VMAX. This is actually from Dance Ablaze. Now, Dance Ablaze is one of the weakest sets in the Sword and Shield era. This is the top card from the set. And for a top card, sitting around $32 is not very good for the set, but it's good if you do want to pick up a good, cheap Charizard. You know, booster boxes actually for Dance Ablaze are going up, which is actually quite surprising. They are reaching above that 150 mark now, which kind of came out of nowhere. But Charizard VMAX is, you know, been pretty steady. It's been pretty stable. You know, we go back 6 months. This card really has been $40. Has actually dropped. Actually, it dropped to below 30 at one point. So it's bounced up a little bit, but it has dropped overall over the last 6 months. And then we go back a year. This card's been dropping since. So now's a fantastic time to pick this one up, guys. You know, you can pick up. You know, we're looking, you know, $30-$40. That's a really good deal for a top end Charizard of a set. You know, it's not the best set, but it is the best card in the set, and for $40 or less than $40, that's a bargain. Over here in the UK, we saw one recently sold for £20. That's actually incredibly low. Now, we've actually seen some graded ones here. You got PSA 9 for £40. Let's see what else we got up here. Let's see if we got anything else. We go with this one. PSA 10 for $66. That's a really good deal. That's actually a really, really good deal. Let's see what else we can find here. So we've got the regular Vs. We've got the VMAX, £17. We got an Ace graded one there. We got a raw one for 22. This is what I'm saying. So cheap for this Charizard. It's actually crazy. It's actually crazy. I remember picking one up maybe about a year ago in a PSA 10. That was only £80. You can pick this Charizard up super cheap, and I think it's worth it. 100% worth it. This is a fantastic Charizard from a set that's getting a little bit more expensive. So yeah, it's definitely worth it. Then we have the special delivery Charizard. Now, this is the Pokemon Center promo that you got with the Pokemon Center over here in the UK. So if you picked up this promo, if you spent basically £20 or more, then you got entered in for a chance to get this promo. Now, I actually had 2 of these. Both of them came back in the PSA 9. Unfortunately, I didn't get the 10. But these are cheap, you know, in comparison to the special delivery Bidoof. I'm not saying that this will go the same way, but it is a really good price at around $42 right now. $42. I remember when this came out, this was crazy. So over the past 3 months, it's kind of been stable, dropped a little bit, but it's been up and down like a yo-yo, pretty much, right? So we take a look 6 months ago, you get about 38, and it did actually hit a peak of 53 and drop back down. We go back a year, it came out, there was so much hype for this. Honestly, there was so much, and people were paying silly prices. I actually saw some on eBay sell over here in the UK for over £150 for these. Could you imagine? And, you know, they soon dropped, and they've been pretty stable around that $40 to $50 mark for a while now. So I think now's a really good time to pick them up. You know, it's difficult to get them in PSA 10s just because promos don't usually have the best quality. They kind of get damaged, you know, within the packets and stuff like that. So if you can get into the PSA 10, that is really cool. So I would definitely look at picking this one up. Like I say, $42, less than 50. That's actually a really good deal. So I would look at getting one and try to get graded, you know, see how well it comes back. Like I say, mine were both 9s. If I can get hold of some more, I would definitely grade them. Over here on eBay, we're looking at £33 recently sold. Let's take a look at this one. This one's £50, so that one's actually quite a big jump, actually. Then we have one here in a PSA 8, 35. We have one here in a Raw for 40. We have another one for 40. I think that's all from the same seller. £40, 42, 45, 49. That one's for a PSA 9. So we've seen them across the board actually drop quite a bit, you know. So I would say on average, you probably look around £40, I would say, for this Raw. Let's see if we can see a PSA 10. Should we see if we can see a PSA 10? There we go. PSA 10, £132 recently sold. So actually, that's pretty good. If you get in 10, you're doing all right. You're doing all right. 9, basically, you look at little over break even. I would say you're probably covering the cost again at graded and the raw price of the card. But yeah, PSA 10, that's actually pretty good. Next up, we have an older Charizard. We have a Charizard EX from Flashfire. Now, you'd be thinking, whoa, we're going back in time. Flashfire is very expensive. You know, if you want to get booster packs or a booster box, it is very, very pricey. And you're not guaranteed, obviously, to pull this Charizard. It is an awesome Charizard. Nonetheless, let's take a look at this. So we're looking at $14. That is not expensive in any way, shape, or form for this amazing looking Charizard. Over the last 6 months, it has gone up. You know, not by a crazy amount, but it has gone up. We go back a year. This card took a dive and is now on the uptick. And like I said, Flashfire booster packs, I mean, what are they? Maybe $70, $80 a piece? I mean, they are expensive. Maybe not quite that much, but they are getting super, super expensive. It is one of the hardest sets to get hold of in, you know, the XY era. And, you know, there's a ton of amazing Charizards in that set. And I think even though this is just an EX, this is a really, really nice Charizard. Like, we had, obviously, the return of EXs now in the Scarlet and Violet era. It was nice to see some older EXs, you know, getting hold of and coming back and things like that. And I think this is a good one. I genuinely think this is a really good Charizard to pick up. So over here, I found one. It was a PSA 9, which was sold for 26 with postage, so maybe £30 for that one. Let's see if I can find another one. There's a ton of amazing Charizards from Flashfire. Honestly, there are some incredible ones. So we have an ace graded one here for 17. That was in a 9. Let's see if we can find any more. Then we can have an idea of all these other Charizards you can get from this set. £15, best offer accepted for that card, raw. And let's see if we can find one more, shall we? Here we go. So we got one here, £12 raw, best offer accepted for this Charizard. So it is quite cheap. And some of these others, actually looking at these, aren't actually that expensive. I mean, even the Charizard EX, this full art right here, gorgeous looking card, £60. I mean, quite pricey, 95. All depends on condition when you start getting these big, big top cards. But yeah, this Charizard though, the EX, pretty cheap. Now's a great time to pick it up. And then finally we have the trio, which is the promos from the Charizard UPC. Now you could pick up the Charizard UPC. I did a video on this recently where you can pick these up for very, very cheap. You know, very, very cheap. Prices are dropping, and they are, I think, the best product to open in 2023. Straight up. Whether you open it or keep it sealed, it is that good. You get a ton of value in there, from the promos to all the packs, the accessories, you know, you're talking about playmats and all sorts. Very, very good. Very, very good. And these promos are good, and they're cheap. Take a look at this one. They're all gorgeous, by the way. And we're looking at $5. $5 for this boy. We go back 6 months, and this card's been dropping like crazy. It was $16. Now it's down to $5. We look at when it came out of release. Obviously, it wasn't going to be 90. That was a bit mad. I think, to be honest, when it was a release, we're looking around 28, I think. It was about 28, and then it kind of just leveled out, you know, across the board, because it did come out around October 26th, I believe. Just before release, we're looking at $28, and it's dropped ever since, and it's now $5. That's crazy. Like, that's actually crazy. Getting these graded in the PSA 10 though is quite tricky, because again, quality promos, hit dodgy, but you know, they are still very nice cards to pick up. Then you have the Charizard VMAX as well. This is my favorite one of this set. Gorgeous, looks like Godzilla style, and I quite like this artwork. This is a bit more expensive, twice the price, right? $10. Has dropped from around 12. We go back 6 months. This card's gone from around 22 to now 10. It's dropped across the board, you know, across the board. These are getting cheaper and cheaper and cheaper because UPCs are getting cheaper and they're easy to get hold of. We go back a year. It didn't actually jump up. Obviously, that's not when it came out. So look when it came out. It came out roughly around here. It was around $22. It was cheaper than the other one. But let's hold its value a little bit better than the Sleepy one. So it's really interesting to see how these are performed. But this is still a very, very nice card. And then we have the Charizard V-Star, the one fighting Mewtwo. This is an awesome artwork as well. We're looking at just under $9. You know, look, you can see the drop of this over the past few months. We go back 6 months. It was around $21. Now we're looking at $8. We go back a year. It came out, what? Let's say it came out around 33 was the most expensive one. And now we're looking around $9. So that is absolutely crazy. Honestly, if you could pick all three of these up, I would highly suggest you doing so. Okay, right, we got over here. So we had the V-Star here for £13. We got all three of the promos combined at around 36. So what's that? £12 each. Actually not bad going. See if we can find any more. So we got the V Max one, the Godzilla style, at £10. Best offer accepted. Then we got the V-Star at 8. These are quite cheap, £40 for all three. What I think you're probably looking at, I would say, about £12 each on average. So about £36 for each of these. And this is what I'm saying. If you can pick up a UPC for like, let's say £100, you get these cards, say £35 off. That's £65, right? Left in value. Let's say the playmat's 10 with the accessories. You're looking at £55 for 16 packs, right? Which is crazy. And 3 of them are Evolving Skies. This is, honestly, this is just incredible. But yeah, these are fantastic cards. You can pick these up for a really good price over in the US and over here. I would highly suggest getting them graded. I'm building up actually a collection of these to get graded, so we'll see how these go on. But yeah, very, very good. There you have it, guys. Those are a bunch of Charizards, which, let's be honest, they are amazing. And they're really, really not that expensive. You know, Special Delivery Charizard was the most expensive one that we went through. But across the board, the Radiant, you know, the promos, everything like that, they are pretty cheap. You know, XY Flashfire, very expensive set. Loads of Charizards in that set. And they're not that expensive. You know, but we did look at a cheaper version today. But they're all fantastic. So definitely go and take a look. Always look on eBay. You want to make sure the condition's good, as always, with any of these cards. But those are some fantastic Charizards that you can pick up. But if you want to know how to pick up Evolving Skies booster packs for retail, then make sure to click on this video right here. And if you want to watch more Pokemon content, guys, you know what to do. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Alright, guys, that is it from me in this video. As always, you guys are the legends, and I'll see you in the next one.